Alright, fuckers, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. Right? We're doing artwod. Okay, I need to get like a proper intro. Artwod, best online learning platform to learn how to draw from imagination. Link in description. I'm not a shill. I am a shill. Fuck, I am a shill. I'm not affiliated. I'm a dick rider. Right? 2. Who am I? I'm Viggy. What can I draw like? I can draw like this so far, based on my latest live stream. I've been drawing for 3 years and 4 months. Watch me become great. Click on my channel. You'll see 300 plus hours of videos of my practice recorded. I aim to prove anybody can draw. Draw along with me. Get your pen. Get your paper. Right? What else? What else? Fuck. There's one more thing. Oh yes, Viggy Discord is live. Link in description as well. One of my fans actually gave me their Discord, and yeah, like it's become a bit more legit. I still don't know what to do with a Discord exactly, but right now, from what I'm aware, people talk, share their art. If you have questions for me, ask them. Yeah, people just another art community for people to shoot the shit, share their art, talk about art, right? I don't know. There's like an art challenges channel, which I'm trying to figure out what kind of challenges could be done. I might start implementing them sooner rather than later. But yes, either way, draw along, right? That's my intro, I guess. I don't think there's anything else. I dick ride artwod, right? They're the reason I can draw like what I just showed. They're literally the reason. I started doing their practices 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. So 3 years of artwod has gotten me that, right? And by the way, 3 years of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of repetitions and failures. So I want to be very clear. This wasn't just done through nothing. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm almost approaching 1,000 hours of practice, right? So yeah, it's all about intentional practice. But anyways, what am I doing right now? I am looking at a portrait reference on my tablet over there. I'm encompassing it in a box. I'm putting a sphere inside that box, and I'm putting a center line, vertical and horizontal, inside the sphere, inside the box. And I guess while I draw, because this is going to be very difficult, right? But while I draw, because again, I'm already drawing, I'm thinking in my mind, I will explain exactly why this is important. And while I'm explaining this, I'm trying to keep a perfectly symmetrical, right, in perspective box, or a perfectly symmetrical sphere inside a perfect cube with the center lines. And you might be wondering, why are you going to this extent to practice portraits, right? Should we not just be practicing the portrait? Why do we need to learn spatial reasoning to this extent, right? And fuck, my lines are so bad today, Jesus. You may think I understand that spatial reasoning is important, right? Yes, many people understand that spatial reasoning is important. Good, that's the first step. But why do we need to go to this extent in order to really understand spatial reasoning, right? That is what I presume to be the next question. And I'm answering a hypothetical question for either the current audience or the future audience, right? This isn't, let's see, anyways, fuck. This is actually really hard to think about, but why are you doing this? The main reason, there's no A, B, or C, whatever. The main reason is the fact that, well, first of all, I didn't feel like drawing today. I just want to say that as an aside. I genuinely did not feel like drawing today at all. The fuck, this guy has cauliflower ear. I just noticed. I think he does. And also, what the fuck is this perspective? Jesus Christ. This is super subtle. This is way more subtle than I actually ever initially realized. So this perspective might actually be really off, what I just did right here. And you'll see, like, my lines are very subpar as well in this angle. But you might be wondering, okay, so why are you going to this extent to do something so difficult, such as holding 3 layers of perspective in your mind, right? And again, this is extremely difficult because I'm trying to explain this shit while I fucking talk. So, GG, no rate to me. The answer is, if we want to have an easier time to, at least, okay, here's the way I think about it, right? Because I'm not going to speak for everyone, but the reason I'm making it so damn difficult for myself, again, I'm constantly thinking about the box and the perfect sphere, but the reason I'm making it this difficult for myself is very simple. Because making things more difficult for yourself in the beginning and for a longer period of time will make it easier for you later on. That's it. Like, the more difficult you make things in the beginning, the easier it will be later on, right? For example, because I'm putting a sphere inside a box and a center line, vertical and horizontal, inside the sphere inside the box, and I'm attempting to calculate and visualize this constantly while I fucking talk, which is extremely difficult. Because I'm doing that, I'm building the foundation for when I draw portraits, they will always be encompassed inside a perfect cube in perspective with a perfect sphere inside that perfect cube with center lines which are calculated against that contour of the perfect sphere and like contained within the perfect cube, right? So what does that mean? That means that whenever I draw a portrait, I will have an extremely robust visualization, calculation, and proportionally accurate to around this size, right? And it will be my foundation. It will be my reference point. So the point is to try to see this 100% of the fucking time, right? As accurately as possible. Because then, no matter what angle I'm drawing my portraits in, no matter what perspective I'm drawing them in, no matter what feature I'm drawing in, this is my fallback. I will have this as a constant visualized reminder as to what I need to base, what perspective and angles I need to base my features off of. And because I will have such a solid foundation, it in return will provide me with the ease to focus on ideation, shape design, and creation rather than calculation. Which is why we get the calculating, and to be honest, I'll always be calculating. I'm always gonna be pushing my brain and trying to really push the extent of what it's capable of. That is, for me, a non-negotiable, right? Oh, that's a mistake. Look at that insane divergence. That was a huge mistake. Wonderful, because mistakes are good, right? But that's why I do it. I chase making things extremely fucking difficult for myself. It's what I fucking live for, especially with art. Damn, that burp tasted like my food. I'd actually be more shocked if it didn't taste like my food, but still. Quite gnarly, as the youngins say. But, yeah, that's why. Okay, so, and this is actually way more... Yeah, we're actually seeing way more of the side plane, so this box is completely incorrect. Or not completely, but the side plane should be about this long, and the front, maybe a bit longer. And the front plane should be about this long. About this long, so that evens it out. Yeah, that's actually much more accurate. Obviously, the angle is slightly off, and if you couldn't see that this angle and this angle are different, that means, and like just this perspective is slightly different than this perspective, even though this is just like me kind of reaffirming things to myself, right? That means you have an opportunity to improve because you couldn't see that, right? Because you couldn't see that, you have an opportunity to improve. So that's another really important thing to note for yourself, right? And again, like now the difficult part begins because now I'm trying to draw very simple, not even like anything legitimate, but just very simple features. Well, okay, because I'm constantly looking back and forth between the reference and like just because I do want to get proportions relatively accurate, but now it's about placing features while keeping that perspective in mind, which this is where I fail a lot. Like maybe even 5 to 10% of the time I really only see it, maybe, right? But this is also another opportunity because the goal right now, like for a very extended period of time, I don't know how long, months, years, who fucking knows, but the goal is to just make this box, sphere, and center line constantly that's being calculated inside my mind. It's basically, we're trying to improve my quote-unquote computing power, right? My processing power. Right now my RAM, if you're gonna call it that, also this, yeah, that was off too. But right now my RAM is preoccupied, right, with just maintaining a calculation and a consistent one at that. Like it is absolutely, and especially because I keep looking back at the reference, it's constantly being lost, right? It's constantly being lost. And because this perspective is angled, my head wants to tilt in that angle too. That's just an odd peculiarity that I have when it comes to my practice. Also, I fucked this up completely, bro. What are these eyebrows? But it's extremely difficult, like genuinely extremely difficult. And again, like right now, I'm getting slightly better. I don't know what that was when I was talking. As in Tamil, it means mukkardu, which means to it's kind of, it's used in the context of shitting, like you're really trying to shit. I don't know how to explain it. It's so hard to contextualize the languages. But like at least like when it comes to like an English translation, right? But it's like it's like you're trying, like something's being stifled, right? Completely unrelated, by the way. But yeah, like while I'm drawing these features and while I'm talking, because I want to be very clear, talking is also another process that requires your brain's energy and focus, right? So while I'm doing this and while I'm placing these tiny features down and focusing on this, I am essentially losing the box, the sphere inside the box, and the central line inside the sphere inside the box. But while I say that, I'm really, really, really fucking grinding my brain to not lose it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm grinding extremely hard while I constantly keep looking back and forth on the reference to focus on that perspective or that proportion a little bit, right? I am putting in a lot of energy to not lose the perspective, but because inevitably I will lose it 100 million fucking times because I constantly keep looking back at the portrait reference and then back here at the box. That is where my brain is being worked the hardest. It's just constantly like the reminder and the effort and the skill being built right now is the ability to, those lips are off, but it doesn't matter, is the ability to retain. It's the ability to retain these 3 layers of perspective, which is extremely difficult. Just to visualize these 3 layers of perspective is extremely difficult. Like while I draw this ear, right? Like to be aware, to look at this ear, like to specifically focus my attention at this ear, while still in my peripheries calculate a box, or the box is already there, but calculate a sphere and the center lines inside the sphere, especially the horizontal one, it eludes me quite a bit, is extremely difficult, especially because I'm fucking talking while I do this, right? Which is a skill. Like these are all skills. But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. That was really difficult. And then now we're gonna do the even more difficult part, which is retain this, and then like hold the box, hold the sphere, hold the center lines, and then, you know, wrap hard, like simple shapes over it. I'm trying to slowly work my way towards hard surface design, mech design. Why? Because I'm enamored by it, but also because it makes things 10 times more difficult, which in turn is going to improve my spatial reasoning, which is the fucking end all be all of representational 3D, like realistic art, right? So this is just a very crucial and a very difficult step. That's part of that. But yeah, anyways, let's rest our brains, please. Utilize the gap effect. 10 seconds, silence, don't think about anything. Wunderbar, wunderbar. Okay, so right now the main thing, and I'll probably take more gap effects breaks like while I do the actual hard surface crossing over, is just because, and then I'll explain that, is because the main thing is to hold right now. Like the main thing is the measure of skill that I'm testing is how long can I hold this visualization, like how long can I actually hold this in my mind on the page, a mix, right? How long can I calculate this? How long can I be consistent with it, right? So that's the main metric that we're measuring by right now, right? And the reason my brain is going to be spending 90% of its cognitive energy just on this is because this is the most difficult thing, right? Visualizing this and maintaining it. That's why doing anything that's along the lines of adding shapes onto this, you'll see like my shapes don't really have much function, don't really have much design, don't really have much consistency, don't really, like this one's completely off. But that's where all my fucking brain energy is going right now. Like that's where really all my brain energy, I think this box was too small also. I should make it a bit bigger. I'm still, I guess, like trying to figure out a good size. And again, that's difficult as well, right? But because my brain energy is going towards and again, this is where ghosting comes in handy, and even my ghosting is inaccurate too, so I have to make sure it's accurate to what the reference actually is, like at least what this reference is, because this is inaccurate to the portrait. So inaccuracy is all around, and that's part of learning, and that's the best part, right? But because while I'm talking, because it's so hard to imagine a perfect sphere and then a perfect box, right, inside the sphere and then center lines, and again, like while I say this, I'm slowly reminding myself of it, but because it's already so difficult to visualize and maintain 3 layers of perspective, the first metric, which I'm 150 reps in, and probably like 120 reps in, right? But or like 150 because we've been doing 50-50-50, right? We've done two rounds of 50 for this specifically, but because we're doing it twice, it's technically 200 reps have already been done, right? But just for this, like in terms of just visualizing that, right, and then wrapping shapes around it, yeah, that's 100 reps, right? So because I've only done 100 reps, or I've already done 100 reps, however you'd like to look at it, but because I've done a certain amount of repetitions, that may seem like a lot, but even so, I still struggle greatly with visualizing this box, the sphere inside the box, and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box. And of course, while talking, it's also very difficult. So the main thing for me right now is to just really fucking just try to see how long I could hold it. That's what I was trying to say. That's a fucking long-winded way of saying the main metric right now is just to see how long this can be held. The goal is obviously indefinitely, but I think that's genuinely like a multi-year endeavor, right? But that's why I'm grinding the fuck out of my brain right now to ensure it's not as intense as perhaps I think it'll be, right? And again, like while I'm starting to draw these tiny features now, already my brain is extremely taxed. And also, I don't know if you can hear because I have noise canceling on, but my family's now, my mom's talking in the background. She's just outside my room. They're just talking. That has nothing to do with anything I'm doing, but the point I'm trying to make is like that's also just a distraction which my brain has to focus and be aware of and then move outside of, right? Like we have to ignore that. So skills, all skills, which are extremely fucking difficult, like genuinely extremely difficult to, yeah, just extremely difficult to do. Yeah, like a simple fucking, I can't think right now. Like I can't think in terms of like I can think, but me trying to mix the design thinking, because trying to add design thinking, like actual shapes on top of this, is like you might as well just be trying to blow my brain up. Like you might as well just be trying to, you know, like there's like fires happening because it's so much energy. It is so much energy, cognitive energy, which is what art is, by the way. Like the motor skill, yeah, it's a little bit of it. As you can see, like my motor skills are still pretty fucking subpar, but oh god, I have to burp. And I actually managed to maintain my visualization while I burped because this time I stared at the page. It's all skills. It's all skills. But let's see, like I'm trying to visualize this plane. I'm trying to put that sphere inside of it, right? Because the main thing is like I want to obviously maintain a perfect circle. And you can see even my ghosting is not a perfect circle. So we need to make sure that whatever I draw, or I need to make sure that whatever I draw has a layer of consistency behind it, right? But that is the goal, like the consistency, the application and everything, that is literally the fucking goal. So you just have to keep going. Just have to keep going, right? And let's see, maybe I can do something like this. It's hard, it's really hard. Like while I actually do this, maybe I should do something like this as well. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I should do something like that. Okay, so that's obviously the wrong perspective, but now I'm trying to hold it back. I'm really trying to bring it back right now. Like I'm really trying to bring back the perspective that I lost. Genuinely, because like I feel as if I completely lost it, but we can try to do something. And this is still fucky and very hard, but let's see if I can. Oh, and this is the top perspective too. I almost did the bottom perspective by accident, but this is the top perspective. So we have to, yeah, see, I lost that perspective completely, and I've been losing it. But this is the best part. Like me just holding this and me just grinding my fucking brain. This is the part where growth occurs, and it's very slow, and I'm consistently losing it because it's very slow, right? Like, gotta make it clear that it's extremely fucking slow. But let's see. Okay, so still trying to see that sphere. I've completely lost the sphere again. And it's easy to say all this shit, but when you're actually in it, it's extremely hard to do, right? Something like that, maybe. Right? And you know what? Why don't we just do something like this, which allows me to reinforce the perspective. Maybe a little bit. Right? Just maybe a little bit. It's not even certain that this will reinforce the perspective, but if I try to just... And while I'm drawing this, I shit you not, I can barely see the perspective, like the overall perspective. I only know this is the perspective because it's like a little bit of a cheat because I have something there to be like, hey, that's a perspective. But apart from that, Am I really aware of what perspective I'm in? Unfortunately, and this is where I need to like, okay, take a step back, right? Am I in extreme discomfort? No. So we need to take a step back, be like, okay, where is this sphere? Where has I? What the fuck? Can't even speak anymore. But where have I drawn it? And what am I going to do to get it back? And let's see. We could. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. I'm gonna take a 10-second break. I encourage you to rest your brain as well. And then we'll be back at it. And you can see my line work is really shoddy. Right? Like, you have to be very objective about your abilities. And it's a good thing. Like I feel great, trust me. I don't know why I have to keep reaffirming that. Maybe it's because I'm so used to beginners, or just people kind of being in doubt when that difficult things can be enjoyable. But this is a good thing. Like, we want to keep reinforcing to ourselves, like, this feels good. And when we feel good about making mistakes is when we get better, right? But anyways, and again, it's not that you intentionally make mistakes. I'm fucking trying so hard not to make the mistakes I have been, but it's because you also have to understand the standards you hold yourself to, which is purely done through understanding the concept and then looking at examples, i.e. the fucking top tier artists that we all look up to and whatever artists we strive to be, and then really trying to understand how that concept is applied to their work or being applied within their work. And suddenly that becomes our standard that we attempt to achieve. Not that we achieve. I cannot speak today. I don't know why. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna rest my brain. I'll be back. It's fucking Jesus. Yeah, I feel like half the motivational shit I try to say is completely fucking bastardized by my inability to speak English. Right? So, okay, so let's see. If that's the end of my sphere. Okay, so I do have a little bit of my sphere understood now, but let's see. Let's see. Okay, so we will do something like this. Or will we do something like this? Maybe we'll do something like this. Maybe I'll do something like... And this is based on design language that I see on Pinterest for like my my mech stuff that I've been looking at, or like hard surface stuff, is like this, right? Where it's straight and then it's rounded, right? It's rounded, or it's like a partial ellipse and then it's straight again. Right, and this is basically just like an addition. If we were to add like an invisible line here, this would just be half an ellipse being added outwards. And of course, this has its own perspective now. That's the difficult part. It's like to realize and to visualize that everything has its own perspective. Right? And this perspective is also extremely difficult to see. That's fucking insanely difficult to see. But that's how we get better. Right? So this, I don't know what this is actually going to turn into. But, and again, like I have to think about shape design, so maybe this should be a bit wider. Right? And it's very easy to be like, oh, I have to think about shape design, but do I actually have the ability to think about shape design right now? No. And while I'm drawing this, like, I've completely lost the perspective, so I need to take a step back. This is the part where I need to really take a step back and be like, okay, there's still an entire sphere. There's still center lines being calculated. Okay, and I have to keep reminding myself that there's still center lines being calculated, right? There's still a perspective that you have not completed. And like, again, my eyes are here, my eyes are zoned in here, but I have to zoom out somehow mentally and be aware and calculate that there's an overall box sphere and center lines inside the box and the sphere that are being adhered to. And that is extremely fucking difficult. Like, genuinely extremely difficult. But this looks, I guess, okay. I guess. I don't really know if the design makes sense, because I wasn't really thinking, truth be told, of the design making sense. TBH, fam. Right? But Oof, perspective is a fucking bitch, isn't it? Okay, and then let's see, we could just do something like this. And how do I want this to connect? Well, actually I could do something like this where maybe there's a cylinder that connects it like so. That in turn doesn't look too bad, and then maybe it's even like a tinier little cylinder jutting out, right? And then we can have this with its horrible line work. And that doesn't look too bad, but again, completely lost the perspective again, so we have to keep going back. We have to keep going back and reaffirming to ourselves that perspective does exist. It does exist, it does exist, I have made it, right? It's not a fluke or anything, hopefully. But even here, I have to think about foreshortening. Perhaps I should start adding some things for the overall perspective to be perhaps consistent. Okay, so that was a mistake. I shouldn't have made that nowhere near as curved. But that's something I still struggle with, right? This is much more of a top-down perspective than this is. That's a complete certainty because I struggle with these contours, right? But perhaps something can be done to attach this. But I'm going to finish this first because I do struggle with doing the other side, right? So I need to make sure that I can at least commit one little bit. Okay, and this is the beautifully difficult part, is the fact that I have to really think. Okay, so I already fucked up here. I really fucked up here, actually. Let's see, because I made a mistake. I gotta still keep thinking about the original perspective. Think about the sphere, think about the original perspective. Oof, fuck man, my brain is being tested. And I'm failing. I'm failing this test consistently. It's so funny, right? It's so funny. But let's see, something like this. Oh, I fucked up the sphere too, but it's okay. We're just gonna have to live with it. And there you go. Okay, something like that. That's obviously extremely inaccurate, but mistakes were made, so we cannot blame ourselves. Actually, I can, because I made another fucking mistake. Jesus Christ. The outlining is all off. And okay, take a step back. Get the perspective back. Get the perspective back. Okay. Whew. Oh my god, that's so difficult. Oh, I love this shit, bro. I'm nutting. Ooh, I'm Viggy nutting. Just add Viggy to everything, right? Totally Viggy nutting right now. Okay, so, and then this is my sphere. Right? If this is my sphere, because I need a perfect circle, right? So that's the even more difficult part, is just coming up with a perfect circle. And let's see. I didn't intend for this to be the end of the fucking thing anyways, right? So I'm trying to think, because this is obviously way too curved, and I struggle with that, I do. But I'm going to stop going over that line, because that line is already a mistake that we've had to commit to. And we have to think about the sphere, right? Because this is my sphere now. I've established that. I just have established that. So I need to have a connection here, which in turn makes this easier to... Let's make it a bit bigger, because... Yeah, I want to make this connection a bit bigger, so it's easier to follow for me. Not that it'll be anything decent. I just don't know if it'll be anything good, but I do want the sphere to look... And again, like, I'm really trying to calculate how the sphere is going to go around now, because I already, okay, stop touching it. See, I have that tendency, right? So we have to be aware of that. But I need to stop touching this shit. And also I need to keep my hands relatively to themselves. Let's see. Something like this, right? This is just incredibly difficult. I love this. I love this because I'm actually trying to make things more complicated now. So this is kind of what I do to myself. Is like once I have the baseline ability where I'm like, oh yes, I'm able to do this, right? Then I always just immediately try making things harder for myself, which does fuck me over a little bit. I'll be honest. It does fuck me over a little bit because suddenly, oof. So what is the sphere? Oh, it's something like this, I think, right? Because suddenly, like, it feels like I'm taking 10 steps back because I'm trying to, this is already way more complicated than anything I've done here. I guess at least in terms of functionality, right? But then suddenly, and even here, like what I'm doing, right? But then suddenly I'm trying to think like, ooh, or I'm thinking like, oh shit, have I like lost my skills? How do I not understand it anymore? But the answer is no, dumbass. You're literally doing something which you weren't doing before. So obviously, you're not gonna be able to do it. Like, it's as simple as that, right? But my brain tends to think that I have lost the skill because I'm making it more difficult for myself, rather than recognizing because I'm making it more difficult for myself, obviously it will feel like a step backwards. Does that make sense? Maybe, maybe not. But who knows if I'm just saying this shit because I have nothing else to say right now and my brain is fucking dying. It's possible that that's also the case, right? Again, I'm trying, because like ideating is extremely difficult. Again, like I tried to make this clear earlier, but ideating is extremely difficult when your brain is occupied with just trying to figure out the basics. You know what I mean? Like my brain is just right now, it's just occupied with figuring out the basics, which is how the fuck does this even wrap around the form? How do I make the form consistent? And that's it. That's all it can think about, right? That's literally all it can think about. Maybe I'm trying to think a little bit about functionality, maybe, right? But do I really have the right to think about functionality? Yeah, probably not. But I'm doing it anyways, and I'm struggling a lot, right? And this is me again, like I'm trying to design big, medium, small, woohoo, right? As if that ever fucking meant anything in this context. Okay, I need to take a step back. See, I'm getting so zoomed in. Like my head is not zooming in, but my eyes are definitely zooming in. So we need to take a step back. We need to keep trying to reinforce the box because I'm losing the box, like the overall box, not the general perspective I've been drawing, but the overall box. I've been losing it quite a fucking bit, right? So even while I draw this, and even while I'm talking, even while I'm trying to explain, and even while my lines are looking like garbage, I'm still trying to see as much as I can. Truth be told. Right? So, let's see. And then this is, again, like this is my box. Right? Like this perspective is my box. So I need to make sure it's adhered to as much as I can. There you go, that was a fuck up too. Doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Okay, no, actually, this is wrong, but we're just gonna have to... Just have to go with it anyways, right? Like, I completely fucked up the sphere here, but... Let's see, something like this. Now, you might think, like, what the fuck, what is this? Well, it's this. So we're just gonna have to really... make sure like the sphere that I see can have, okay, see, that's a fuck up too. Like, look how bad that is, holy shit. But it's too late, so we're just gonna have to go along the contour. Like so. And yeah, just accept the fact that this is the sphere I can see. Like, this is the box I can see, and this is the sphere I can see, and that's just a reality, right? Like, that's just the reality. And then maybe, just to make things a bit more interesting in terms of the shapes that I use. Let's see. Right. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Okay, so I can think exactly what I wanted to do there, but I'm still gonna try to maybe make some sense out of it. What could be done here? Maybe some grill marks with these really bad lines. Really trying to see the box, but at this point I've basically lost it. Like, at this point I've basically just lost the box. Genuinely just lost the box. Don't see the sphere at all, right? Really hard, really fucking hard. Now even this doesn't look like it's connected properly, so we gotta do something like this. Now how do I even connect? There you go. Right, it's embedded into the sphere. Hopefully that looks a bit more legit. My line work is really needs improvement. I mean, everything needs improvement. Fucking everything needs improvement. But the lines definitely. Now, see, I don't even think like what I'm doing here should be done, but I've already committed. Fuck, that was wrong. Completely losing the perspective, as a real artist does. And then no, this is all wrong. This is all so fucking wrong. What do I want to do with this? See, I can't think of shapes anymore. My brain is just like, this is the extent of my brain power right now, guys. So, I don't know. I'd like to hope this is informative at the very least. Like, oh wow, he's just dog shit all around. The answer is yes. Right? The answer is yes. Of course I'm dog shit. I haven't put the work not to be dog shit yet. Like, what do you expect? Right? And, oh. Okay, so kind of really iffy sphere. Oh, let's just write down rep 7. That was really difficult. So again, it's like I could, yeah, like once you get into it, it's so hard to hold the sphere. And even though like no matter I kept trying to remind myself, hold it, it was just so hard. So just comes with time. Let's just keep trying. Genuinely just keep fucking trying. Oh, let me completely forgot to add this, which takes away from it actually looking legit. Yeah, there you go. And same with, I think there should be something like this here. Right? Oh shit, something like that. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it. It's not connected too well, but I mean, design-wise, it's okay, I guess. There's a lot that could be done. We need to go bigger. We need to go bigger and simpler. But anyways, look at that. Half an hour, 40 minutes, as always, for garbage. But in a good way. As in, it was a garbage brought upon by struggle. And that is the value. So yeah, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. Yeah, man, god damn. Ooh-wee, as a wise Mr. Meeseeks once screeched extremely annoyingly. But yeah, you see, I lost the perspective completely here. You can see how this one's way more like this. Because again, I really struggle with having the subtlety with the perspective, but Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna try to keep it in mind as much as I can. This is just the thing with art. I realized for some reason, especially with art, but I feel as if that reason isn't anything too difficult to understand, which is just art is infinite. We can all agree that, right? Like we can all agree with that. Art is basically fucking infinite as a skill. And what that means is there's a lot to learn. Like there's genuinely a shit ton to learn, you know? And that shit ton oftentimes can feel like what I'm learning right now feels like it's what I'll be learning forever. Even though I know objectively that's not true. Like I was taking a shower earlier right before I started this drawing session, right? Which I didn't want to do, by the way. I just like to point that out to let people know that, hey, it doesn't matter whether you feel like it or not, but we can still do it. And then now that I'm in it, I feel like it, if that makes sense, right? Like I'm 40 minutes in. I'm definitely feel like drawing. I'm here now, right? But what I'm trying to make is the fact that I was thinking about like, okay, first I'm gonna learn portraits, like I'm gonna do the artwod portrait roadmap, right? And then I'll do the figure roadmap, and then at one point after I do the figure roadmap, I'll actually go back to the figure roadmap and I'll extensively do the hand roadmap, right? And I was trying to figure out the timeline as to how I would do that, and then I just got this feeling where I'm like, damn, how am I gonna remember everything? Like, how am I actually going to remember everything? Like, what if when I stop doing figures to focus on hands, like, oh, by the way, that's wrong. See, that's diverging, so that's just incorrect. I think anybody can see this, right? These are diverging. They're not in the right perspective. And then after that, I was like, how am I gonna remember? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, even though I'll practice portraits on the side, it's not gonna be my main practice anymore. How am I gonna remember that? So, art definitely feels like one of those skills where you feel like you'll forget. You'll forget. I don't know why I'm speaking so fucking retarded. But I don't know why. But I don't really have an explanation for this feeling. I think it's normal because when you're starting out everything, like we don't understand. I mean, I think the main thing is the fact that beginners or people starting out any skill. By the way, this box is way too wide. There's definitely not a perfect sphere inside of here, like a perfect circle. It's too wide. I should have cut this out by like this much. That would have been better, I believe. Yeah, I think that would have been better. It's hard to tell, but anyways, I'm still really trying to think about that box and the sphere. This is actually too subtle of an angle. This is actually more accurate, even if it's a bit too much. This is way too subtle, right? But the top plane is correct. Like the degree of the top plane is correct, but the tilt of the box is incorrect, right? Yeah, the tilt of the box is definitely incorrect. And these two are converging really fast. So they're diverging up here. There's a lot of mistakes with this box, actually, a lot of mistakes. But you can see, like, I struggle with drawing boxes of this size and visualizing a fucking sphere inside this of the size, right? But I feel as if it's because beginners, when you're in the beginning of something, we don't, especially with art, I feel as if even though in other skills it is applicable, I feel as if just especially with art, it's really hard to internalize the concept. And by the way, while I'm talking, I'm drawing, which is extremely difficult. I just like to keep reiterating that so people are aware that these are all skills and it's extremely cognitively tasking to do so. But I feel as if with art, it is more difficult to internalize the concept of crystallized intelligence, which is the fact that when you have spent enough intentional effort dedicated towards learning a concept, and you have spent enough hours and repetitions, hundreds, thousands, right? Like, I don't have to revisit the box in the same way that I did in the beginning, right? I don't have to revisit lines in the same way that I did in the beginning. There's always more nuance to it, you know? It's not a permanent constant learning the beginning again. But I feel as if because the concepts, like art in general, like the scope of the things that are taught are essentially limitless, it feels, and I guess I'm speaking for me. Maybe this is relatable, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you understand what I'm trying to say, or maybe it's relatable, whatever the fuck. But definitely, because there's a wide breadth of skills and topics and things to learn in art, it's easier to get taken aback and kind of lost in the, or inundated, right, with the sheer volume of things to learn, right? Like I'm learning piano, which is a pretty quote unquote infinite skill, right? Like I'm learning piano, but I'm ignorant because I specifically don't focus on piano unless I'm actually in class, like in my lesson, or I'm practicing it, right? So like in that sense, I don't know what I don't know when it comes to piano, right? I don't know what are the millions of things that I'm missing because I just do what my teacher tells me and I'm just getting good because I just practice the things he tells me, right? But because I guess with art, I also like seek the knowledge because it permeates my subconscious. It's like something that's fucking embedded in my mind at all times. Like because of that, also this nose is fucking off as shit. Holy fuck! But because of that, I'm very well aware of all the things that I have to learn. By the way, this isn't me lamenting or bemoaning or being like, oh, I have so many things to learn. I'm so sad. No, I'm very excited for it. It's just this feeling that no matter how much I learn, I won't internalize it. Right? It's this assumption, I guess you could say, that kind of just subconsciously comes about, you know? And it's interesting. And by the way, while I'm doing this, I'm really trying to see that sphere inside this. But it's interesting because, like, I know once I put enough effort into learning the figure, right, I won't ever have to put that much effort into just learning the figure again. It will be a lot more nuanced. It will be refinement. It will be evolution, right? But when you're in the midst, right, the midst of it, when you're in the midst of it, practicing that same thing over and over and over and over, just like what I'm doing right now, it can almost feel as if this is just what it's going to be like, and you don't ever feel like you're actually going to get it. But that's where the sheer effort and rest, right? Rest, like actual rest, where your brain learns, comes into play. I'm just thinking out loud, by the way. It's just something I noted that, while I was in the shower, I'm like, okay, I have all these things to learn. I just got this feeling of like, damn, will I actually ever learn all this? Like, will I actually have the opportunity to retain all of this, right? But I think the only thing that will answer that question is volume, effort, time, and then you get your answer, right? Then you get your context, right? There's nothing else that's gonna give you that answer apart from sheer volume, sheer effort, and the passage of time, right? I'm gonna rest my brain, and I encourage you to do so as well. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's just things I think about, not like in some deep, I'm a philosophizer, philosophizing the philosophering, right? I'm not Harry Potter, but I don't know, it's just something I was thinking about. I'm like, it's interesting how, for some reason, specifically when it comes to art, even though I have so many other things I'm learning, like I'm learning coding, and I'm excited to learn, I'm learning HTML and CSS right now, right? I'm really taking my time, and I'm doing like 10 times the amount of projects that the course requires, and I'm doing my own personal side exercises per like every few concepts, right? Right now it's Flexbox. Just nobody gives a shit, but just as an aside. But the point is, right, with coding, I don't get that feeling. I'm like, damn, I'm so excited to learn, right? And I'm confident that I will learn HTML, CSS, then JavaScript, right? Then probably, I don't know what the timeline is, like React, and then Auth, and then like, memory allocation. There's like a bunch of shit involved in making an app, because that's my end goal, right? It's like to make an app that my first design project that I made was a fitness app, right? And then I'm gonna actually bring that app to life, and that's just gonna be literally a side project, which I'll try to turn into a business, or just not try, but I'm gonna turn into a business, and then it's gonna be a learning lesson on how to run a business or how to fail a business. So either way, it's gonna be a great experience, right? Just keep fucking hammering away at it. But when I saw like the timeline and the things for all like the fucking 10, 15, whatever years it'll take to learn all the things for this side project of mine, right? Starting with just the basics right now, I never thought, will I ever be able to retain all this? Because I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll just put in the time. But yeah, for some reason, when it comes to art, it's just like there's so much. There's just so much that you don't even realize. Like I don't get the context that somebody who's put in that many years has, which is, oh yeah, it all compounds over time, right? It's a fact. But have I really experienced the compound effect? Maybe like the first little wisps of it, right? In these first 3 years and 4 months, like, oh, I can do this now. Oh, kind of cool, but like at the same time, my goals are so fucking grand, right? That it doesn't matter if it's kind of cool. I still have to fucking do it, and I still have to understand it, and I still have to try to get to it. I'm not in a rush, but I do have to like really fucking get to it, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say anymore. Just leave me alone. But let's see. I actually realized that I wasn't using my system that I wanted to use for seeing this box cylinder or box sphere and center lines, which is essentially seeing this, you know, like seeing this. Like I'm not utilizing that enough because I practice this sometimes in my spare time, right? Where I wrap things around that box and like I try to get that perfect sphere, you know? And it's like a skeleton essentially, it's a wireframe, but I don't utilize it nearly as much as I should. It is difficult, don't get me wrong, it's actually very difficult to try to utilize and understand, but I mean, it's kind of like just gotta make things more difficult for myself. That's mainly what it is. That's what it always is. I just want to make things more difficult for myself. Because only then will I have value, right? It's only then. Self-worth comes from how much effort we put in and nothing else. And then when you die, and everybody's like, was it worth it? You're dead, so you can't respond. And that's it. That's the way to live. Put in effort, forsake family, never take days off. And then when people ask you if it was worth it on your deathbed, you respond by dying. A life well lived. Okay, anyways, bullshit aside, let me really try to think about this sphere. Let me think. So we can obviously, I always say obviously, but for me it's obvious, which is just, don't know what to do, add a fucking screw. Right, still don't know what to do, add another screw. Coming through the other side. And, you know, hope for the fucking best. Right? Now, oof, that was a line of all time, that was for sure. Definitely a fucking line. You see, like, even little things, like, will my lines ever get better? I don't know. I don't know, actually, because they never feel like they do get better, to be honest. But who am I to not believe in the fact that if I just keep going, my lines will get better, right? I don't know. I haven't put in the hours yet to get better lines. And I'm fucking struggling hard to see this. I'll tell you this much. I'm really struggling to see this, the box, the sphere, all that shit. Really struggling. But I'm trying something different. I'm trying to add more complexity to the side rather than the front like I always do. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll just have something very simple, quote unquote, on the side or the front, right? Let's see. How do I want this sphere to be? Okay, I want this. This is the sphere I want. I think I can see it a little bit better now. So we want something like this, then this, and then all the way like this, and then I will circle around because I like that motif. Fancy word, motif. I rock the motif, you know. And now I'm really trying to hold this visualization. So what would this be? Yeah, it'd be something like that. It'd be very subtle. And this one would be also equally subtle. I rock the motif. I rock the somebody, right? Bars, right? And then again, really try to think about the box. Something like that. It could be a bit more curved, I think, but it's still very subtle right now, of course. And okay, well, obviously these two aren't going to be connected anymore. And this is also like, I made this way too long if you look at it. Right, it should have been more like that. But it's okay. You know, we can just always bullshit and say it was because of a design, it was a design choice. Design. Right? We can always lie. When in doubt, never tell the truth. Just lie and say it was a design choice. I learned this at work. Let's see, so Okay, so maybe I should start by also establishing the sphere. But I'm scared, Daddy. Well, son, that's how you learn. Oh. Okay, so there's my dinky little sphere. Okay, so we attached it incorrectly. I was not going for that level of attachment, but now that I have, let's keep trying to hold it. And I'm not gonna do anything fancy. I'm a pussy, so we'll just do that. Pussies unite. Wee. Oh. There you go. To be a good artist, you must make artistic noises. Because it is not artist, it is artist. Ha 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 ha, funny joke, such a funny joke. Nobody saw that coming. And now he's gonna make a joke about the word coming. Ha ha ha. Oh, fuck me, his lines are going to shit. Oh my god, well, dude, those are horrible lines. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Yeah, so when I say these are horrible lines, A, I'm calling you a whore, but B, it's because in this angle, I don't have the line control sensitivity, whatever you want to call it, to create thin lines. And I'm losing the perspective really badly right now, so I'm taking a step back, like mentally taking a step back, looking at what I've drawn again, right? Trying to make sure that trying to make sure that I get it. And let's see. There you go. What if something like that? I don't think that works either. Let's see. Well, this is not even what I wanted to do, but it's kind of what ended up happening. Okay. And just to make it so this doesn't look stupid, let's do something like this, and then something like that. Who fucking knows what the hell I'm doing anymore? Oh, my brain's hurting, man. My brain's hurting. Okay, and then we'll bring it out. Right? And then this will connect, maybe? Okay, really, really trying to see that fucking perspective for the goddamn life of me. But unfortunately, I don't have a life. So sad, sad hours. Okay, so see, like I fucked that up too. It's too thick, too thin. And man, seeing this perspective is so difficult. But okay, it's attached. It does look like it's attached to something cylindrical, which is a step, right? Now I just need to. Okay, I need to do something like this to really reinforce that I'm not retarded. Okay, so. I think that comes down here, right? I'm just trying to think. It comes down there. And then we can. Okay, but then we can do something like this, maybe. Right? And we'll close this off. Like that, all while I'm trying to see the perspective. And this isn't too bad. I will say I'm typed quite. I couldn't speak there. I was trying to say I will say I'm quite the god, but then clearly God doesn't stutter. Let's see. Okay, again, now it's like trying to figure out design, which is a whole nother fucking problem. What the hell is good design, man? What the hell? What do I do? Seriously, okay, I guess we'll just try to think of relatively big shapes. Now it's like my brain genuinely just has zero fucking anything in it. I'm serious, like there's nothing happening in my brain right now apart from just trying not to die. TBH fam. Just trying not to fucking die. Okay. Well, it's not like the sphere is done. Because I already fucked it up by making whatever the hell this was. I didn't make it proper, but you know what? Because this sphere is kind of like this. No, wait, it's like this. This is a wonky sphere. Maybe I can fix it. Just like I can fix her. Let's see. Okay, but what shapes do I want? Maybe something like this. I don't know what that is, but maybe it looks interesting. Nope, not at all. This is a fucking struggle. What the fuck have I done? I literally don't know what I've done. I guess it was technically tapering. Like that would have been better. But either way, it does none of this make sense. Okay, see, I'm wasting time on stupid shit. So, that's a me problem. Let's see. Something like that. Oh my god, this... that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Mistakes, sure, but at least livable mistakes. And you can see, damn, I really struggle with this angle. Holy shit. And obviously, again, like, everything is solved by just thinking about the box. Not to say I have solved anything, but I'm saying it's clear that just trying to fucking keep the box in mind helps so much. Even though that's not what I've been doing. Again, I want to make it very clear that I have not been doing that. I've been really trying to do it, but it's been very difficult. And this isn't even connected properly, fuck. Yeah. And then again, we need to... There you go. Oh, okay, so that's not bad. Did this... Oh, this is just the front, so this needs to now... There you go. There you go. I don't know, it's alright. I mean, it doesn't really inspire much in the way of design. That was definitely cooler, for sure. But let's see if I can do something. Start it here, bring it here, and maybe we can... God damn, my line work, bro. And then we can perhaps just a little bit, right? And then what if... Okay, that goes like that. And then this is obviously, it's the top perspective. So maybe I can do something like this. And then now this can... Let's see. Connect like so. Would that make a difference? Right? And then we can follow the rounding there, and then this will follow this perspective. There you go. That does look relatively cooler. And then I can just do something like this. Like little cutouts or whatever. Maybe it's a cutout. Is it a cutout? Yeah, let's make it a cutout. Fuck, I shouldn't have had that. It's too late, I'm committed now. Looks like ass. I don't know. I don't know much about design, to be honest, and this was already hurting my brain a lot to think about the contours and everything. I think slowly but surely it's getting better. Definitely not bad. I don't think it's anything garbage, but it is definitely not magnifico, you know, like, it's a difference. But There's like, what the fuck was this? What the actual fuck was this? I don't know what I did here at all. And the lines are so fucking shoddy, but like a melody. But it's okay. Anyways, I'll be back in like 25 minutes. I'm just gonna rest. And then just gonna work my fucking bum off, my giant bunghole off again. And wow, I'm finally getting the pen I wanted after months of begging, which is this extreme ink bleeding. Not bleeding, absorbing. If it's not bleeding, it's absorbing. And that, again, is showcasing how shit my lines are. So it's good, it's good. Slowly but surely, I just need to do my best. But I do like this. I like what I did here with this. I mean, the cylinder being cut through is overused, but for now, this is clearly the most my brain can ideate while trying to keep the goddamn box and the sphere and the center lines in mind. That's the main point right now. That's the main point. It's the box, the sphere, and the center line. And obviously, both of these angles are relatively inaccurate to the portrait. So this is more accurate, like definitely way more accurate. This one is not angled correctly, and the box itself has many issues. But overall, I feel as if this was pretty decent. Yeah, okay, we'll leave it at that. And as always, right, with that being said, I hope you put a lot of effort in. And as always, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please, please, give me money.